Welcome, Zola. Really appreciate you taking time with us to talk about you and your international activities. You've been in the industry for a long time now. You're a passionate member of the real estate industry and a customer of ours. Tell us a little bit about yourself here.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Matt, and thank you everyone, Marion, Michael, everyone who is being here, and the opportunity to have a few conversation about some of the experiences, what we are going through. Well, I've been in the industry for just about over 20 years now, and I like to describe it. This is the best way I like to describe it. It's I kind of always say like, I always sat like in all sides of the table. So I was in production for 14 years, and then I was in a broker manager role as well. And then I'm also at the training, mentoring, coaching side of the business as well. So it gives me a very good overview to see really what are the needs and wants for agent perspective, but also for organizations such as an association, needs and wants, as well as for separate brokerages with different sizes. And then obviously, as we say it, I drank the Kool-Aid, and I also just roll into the path of had a privilege to serve the local Orlando Regional Realtor Association as a president in 2014, and then literally just went on and had some other appointments in at the state level as well as the National Association of Realtors. And then a few years ago, I had a great opportunity to, while actually along all these lines, I also started to teach for NAR designation and certification courses probably in the past 13 years now. And basically, all I am teaching is whatever I have done before or I'm currently doing, because I do believe that's very relevant for the people, for the audience to bring relevant information with some experiences. So I don't teach all the designation courses. I only teach the ones which I feel comfortable or experienced, and I again currently doing right now.
Thank you, Zola. That's fantastic and quite impressive, all the things that you've been doing. And that would have actually been my next question. Tell us a little bit more about your skills and your passion of taking the Organized Real Estate International. And I know we just finished our UCO International update and all of the exciting activities that are going on the international side. What brought you to Paris and to the International MLS Forum, and talk to us a little bit about that.
So as far as Paris, it was a very interesting invitation. I was actually part of a panel, and it was just about having a conversation about, international MLS. So we all know that organized real estate, it's really something which is very unique to the United States. And obviously there are some similar countries, such as in Canada, but mainly outside of the North America, so to speak, it's really unfamiliar, organized real estate. People trying to develop organizations to combine multiple states, countries, and when I say about states, I was talking about like the Euro member states, and they are trying to initiate certain things. But I don't know, I don't want to say with less success or more success. It's just not really the way how we are operating here. So we were talking in Paris about some of the opportunities of how an international MLS would look like, right? Well, the basic concept, what I was covering there, it was mainly about exclusive representation, right? Because we all know that if we have an MLS system, then with the MLS system, if you're offering any cooperation to another side of the transaction, then how would that look like if you are representing the seller's best interest, and how does it look like when you're representing the buyer's best interest? Because literally outside of the US, there is really no buyer representation. However, there are some little pockets of organizations and associations around the world who started to adopt buyer's agreement, understanding what is a buyer representation, how do we create value, how do we communicate the value, and then for all of those services, actually we are going to get compensated for, right? Because we are not a charity, so we are doing things for, making a living. So this was the conversation. It was very interesting. It was very it was like a mixed feelings, some people were really into it and some people were really looking at it as, the typical concept. Well, it works in the US, but it won't work here. And then I think the whole challenge was to explain to them, it doesn't matter where you are consumers, and consumers wants to be educated, the consumers wants to be represented. So it doesn't matter if you speak whatever languages or whatever country you are coming from, or you are being there as an agent, then at the end of the day, it comes down to how we're going to communicate that and create that business relationship.
I believe it's fair to say that there is there has been a big demand or a lot of interest towards the, how the model works here in the United States, and just understanding like what are the needs there, how can we harmonize, how can we bring something to that. Where, Zola, do you see like the challenges or maybe a couple of the things that we need to look out for when we're dealing with an international audience and diverse countries that have different cultures, different languages, so many differences. Where do you think that the challenges and opportunities are with that?
First of all, there are probably a gazillion websites in each countries which call themselves MLSs. But we all know that that's not really an MLS. So they are really portals. They are portals where people posting their properties, listings, and then sometimes, since it's not regulated, and I think that's the issue here, because I do believe, just like anything else in any profession, I mean, it's just the same concept when you're driving. If we won't have stop signs or traffic lights, it would be a mess, right? So we do have to have some sort of guidance. And I do believe that's missing there. So that's why you have one property, 5 different websites with 5 different prices. One of that listing might be the seller, in fact, who is listing the property. And then, so it's really like a portals, which is a public facing portals, which will give that company who put together that a great opportunity for advertisement and for lead generation and getting the real estate professionals money to get access to it. So it's basically, I would say, with no disrespect with any of the companies who I'm mentioning now, it would be like something which is a realtor.com, Zillow, or any of the local ones here, but that's all they have, right? So they don't have a real MLS. When I say a real MLS, is the MLS from our point of view from the United States.